And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Howdy everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a little game from Queen Games called Clash of Vikings. This is, each player is a Viking and you're all running around hitting each other, or are you? This is a bluffing game. A game in which you're going to take actions and tell everyone what you're doing, and then they have to decide whether they believe you or not. As you fight over a bunch of bracelets, because that is a good thing to fight over. Let's take a look. In this game, players are playing in an arena here. You're going to each start with some bracelets that are numbered 1 through 3, but bracelets even up to 4 can go around in these different spots on the board. And what players are going to be doing as they play this game is they have a deck of cards, and you're going to draw 3 cards from this deck. And on your turn, you're going to play one action and then another action. You're going to be playing 2 cards from your hand. You're going to put these cards face down underneath one of these spots on the board, taking one of the actions there. What you're saying is that is the action. I can put this here and say I am walking, which allows me to move 1 space. Did I play a walk? No, I played a punch. You know, if I had a walk, I could have played that too. Each player has a walk in their deck, or has 2 of them actually. So I could have done that. But whenever you play a card, I say I'm walking here, someone else can call your bluff. If they call your bluff and I was lying, I don't know why I would play a sprint instead of a walk, but if I was lying, I have to give them one of my bracelets. If I was telling the truth, they have to give me one of their bracelets. That's basically it. The actions are walk 1, sprint 2. By the way, if you end your turn on one of these, you get to keep it. And when you move off, it's going to have another one put in its spot. And having these bracelets run out is a trigger to the end of the game. I can also slam, which means I can move up to 2 spaces and take the person who was on that spot and move them to an adjacent spot. I can club somebody who's next to me and take one of their bracelets from them. I can also punch them, which takes one of their bracelets and puts it face down next to them. Hammer is the same thing, but it's a ranged attack and you get to keep it. And slingshot, you hit them and knock one out of their hands. And if you make it fall in the water, it just disappears from the game. Whenever you attack somebody, though, they can play a shield as a defense. They play it up here to block, and again, that could also be a bluff, and you could call their bluff if you want to. So everything in this game can be played in one of these spots. When you're done playing the cards, you will draw back up to 3. Everybody draws back up to 3, and you keep going till these bracelets run out. Then everyone reveals the bracelets they have, and whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. Okay, so there's these chunky, wooden Vikings. There are these. This is a nice thing, okay? This is something that I wouldn't mind that Coup even had, per se. I like that in this game, you get to play a card here, and everyone can look and say, these are the actions that card is. This just helps me realize what that action might be. The cards themselves are pretty easy to understand what they do. I like that the artwork on them is fine. My only complaint is I wish they had kind of, like, this is the blue character. Great. Then why does her sprint show this? It just feels like it's an easy way out of putting the same artwork on all the cards. Her slam looks like this. Why did they not use this character to do those actions? That would be my biggest complaint. Other than that, though, not a lot of complaints. I mean, the game comes in a really skinny, small box. The board itself can be split up so that there's 2 sides of it. Although, again, this is, not a big thing, but I do wonder why they didn't make it so you could have put the boards together and make a 3rd board. It seems like that would have been an interesting thing to do. I mean, the components here are fine, but I wouldn't get too excited about them. So a bluffing game, along the lines of a very popular game. I mentioned it even when I was explaining it. Coup, right? Coup is that the quintessential bluffing game, where I'm playing an action and you can say, no, you're not. I don't mind games like that. The thing about this game is, it's fine. It's just not, it doesn't hold my interest very long. The game's slightly longer than it should be, I feel. And you do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. There is an advanced variant where you only have 2 cards instead of 3. I think you should play that way. It forces more bluffing. Or if you don't bluff, you're at least going to have a hard time doing anything. With the 3 cards, you could just say never bluff or very rarely bluff, which makes the game slightly more boring. At the end of the day, though, you're not Vikings. You're just people walking around, picking up bracelets and punching bracelets out of each other's arms. It's good and entertaining for a brief amount of time. I would be hesitant to spend money for such a thing, though. I just don't feel like after 2 times, I feel like you have researched all the things of the game. I played this also with my kids. My kids were entertained for a bit. Then I was like, oh, yeah, same thing. Oh, yeah, lie one more time. Oh, yeah. Now, calling people's bluffs is fun. But when someone walks one space, even if they are bluffing, who cares? The bluffing really matters when you're trying to take one of my bracelets, punching me, or I try to take one of yours and you defend. That's where bluffing matters. But the moving on the board, and it just is this kind of, it almost turns into a take that game, just back and forth. So if you like coup a lot, and you wanted a version of coup that also let you punch other people's pieces and steal bracelets from them, then this is a 10 out of 10 for you. For me, I didn't hate the game. It was fine. It's just very light. Seems like I've seen it, done that, and I fear that I'll forget about it in a month, if not less. So it's there. It's kind of game that felt like it's an addition, like, hey, I'm playing Vikings. Also, bonus little game, Clash of Vikings in the magazine today. That's what this feels like. Not bad, but I do the same thing just a little too much. Dice Tower Judgment, it's interesting a few times.